Tokyo, 1954. A city rebuilding, a nation looking forward. But beneath the surface of progress, mysteries linger, waiting to be unearthed. Haneda Airport hums with routine, a gateway between Japan and the world, a place of arrivals and departures, of reunions and farewells. Passports stamped, travelers processed, each one a story unfolding as they pass through customs. Order maintained, a smooth, predictable flow of humanity. But today, order is about to unravel. The threads of reality are about to be tested. A man steps off a plane, seemingly no different from any other passenger. Blending in at first glance, an anonymous face in a sea of travelers. Yet when he reaches customs, the ordinary transforms into the extraordinary. Something in his paperwork halts the line, a subtle anomaly that catches the eye of a seasoned officer. The officer frowns, calls a supervisor, sensing something is deeply amiss. Whispers ripple through the queue, a silent wave of unease spreading among the waiting passengers. The man is calm, seemingly unfazed by the growing commotion. Confused by the sudden scrutiny, he wonders what could possibly be the problem. His documents seem perfect, immaculately presented, with all the correct stamps and seals, except for one detail that makes no sense, a single, glaring impossibility. To him, everything is normal, as it should be. To the officials, it's as if he's arrived from a country that doesn't exist, a place that exists only in dreams or perhaps in another dimension. The gears of bureaucracy jam, grinding to a halt in the face of the inexplicable. The ordinary day at Haneda is over, shattered by the arrival of the impossible. An investigation into the impossible has begun, a search for answers that may lie beyond the realm of known reality. This isn't a story from a lost jungle or ancient tomb, a tale of forgotten civilizations, but from the heart of modern civilization, a place of logic and reason, the man from Taured, a name that would soon echo through the annals of unexplained mysteries, a case that challenges the very nature of reality, forcing us to question what we know about the world around us. What if, for a moment, time stood still? The boundaries between worlds blurred, allowing for the impossible to occur, and someone slipped through, carrying with them a piece of another reality. The customs line, once a river of routine, flowing smoothly and predictably, now pools around a single, inexplicable anomaly, a roadblock in the smooth flow of international travel. Officials dig deeper, poring over documents, searching for any logical explanation. But every answer leads to more questions, deepening the mystery with each passing moment. The man insists his country is real, a place he knows and loves. The officials insist it's not, that no such place exists on any map. The world, for those present, is about to shift on its axis. Will never be quite the same, forever marked by the encounter with the impossible. The mystery has only just begun, and the search for answers will lead down a rabbit hole of intrigue and disbelief. Who was this traveler who materialized seemingly from nowhere? What secrets did he hold, and what world did he truly belong to? A well-dressed, middle-aged man, fluent in French and Japanese, confident and composed, radiating an air of worldly experience. He carried himself with the poise of someone accustomed to navigating international circles. He claimed to be on a business trip, his third to Japan that year, a frequent flyer in an era when air travel was still a glamorous affair. His wallet held currencies from across Europe, a collection of francs, marks, and lira, hinting at a life spent traversing borders. His demeanor that of a seasoned professional, comfortable in his own skin, unfazed by the hustle and bustle of international travel. He answered every question without hesitation, showing no signs of deceit or confusion. His response is clear, concise, and seemingly truthful. Yet, every detail officials checked was off-kilter, a subtle dissonance that grew with each verification. The company he named existed, a brick-and-mortar establishment with a history, but not his employment record, his name conspicuously absent from their employee files. The hotel had a reservation, a confirmation slip bearing his alleged name, but the details didn't match the information he provided, creating a frustrating discrepancy. His story was both real and impossible, a perplexing blend of verifiable facts and inexplicable anomalies. Like a reflection in a warped mirror, familiar yet distorted, recognizable yet fundamentally wrong, the man grew frustrated. His credentials had always worked before, his identity never questioned. This wasn't a case of forgery. The documents were authentic. His documents didn't mimic reality. They described another one, a parallel existence, just slightly out of sync with their own. He believed in his story, his country, his past, clinging to the truth as he knew it. Officials realized they weren't dealing with a criminal, a con artist, or a spy, but a paradox, a walking, talking contradiction of everything they understood about the world. A man out of place, calmly insisting on a world no one else could see, a world that seemingly existed only in his mind. The normality of his presence was the strangest thing of all, a stark contrast to the extraordinary claims he made. The officials were stumped, facing a mystery that defied every protocol, every logical explanation they could conjure. The man from Taured was not a threat. He was an enigma, a puzzle piece from a box they didn't recognize. And the paradox deepened with every answer he gave, each explanation only adding another layer to the already complex mystery. The passport. It was more than just an identification document. It was the heart of the entire mystery, the key to unlocking a truth that seemed to defy reality itself. It looked genuine, worn, weathered by countless journeys and stamped with the marks of numerous border crossings. Each crease and faded ink stain told a silent story of a life lived, a history etched onto its very fibers. Stamped with an array of official seals and visas, each one seemingly legitimate, each one a testament to the holder's extensive travels across the globe. Official in every way, the paper felt right, the binding was perfect, and the security features appeared to be state-of-the-art. But it was issued by Taured, a detail that immediately shattered the illusion of normalcy. A country no one had ever heard of. A nation absent from every map, every atlas, every geographical database in existence. Officials scoured lists and maps, poring over ancient texts and modern databases, desperately seeking any trace of this phantom nation. No Taured. It simply wasn't there, a void in the tapestry of the world. The man, baffled by their ignorance, grew increasingly agitated, unable to comprehend how the existence of his homeland could be questioned. He pointed to Andorra on the map, a small principality nestled in the Pyrenees Mountains, insisting it was Taured, that this tiny nation had been known by that name for over 1,000 years. His passport had stamps from real countries, a bewildering collection of entry and exit marks from nations that undoubtedly existed, including Japan, a nation renowned for its meticulous record-keeping and stringent border controls. How had he traveled before, passing through countless checkpoints and immigration controls without raising any suspicion? Why had no one noticed the discrepancy, the impossible origin of his travel document? The stamps were authentic, verified by experts who confirmed their legitimacy and the dates they were issued. The document flawless, except for its impossible origin, a paradox that defied all logical explanation. It was as if the world had always accepted Taured, seamlessly integrating it into the global network of nations. Until this day, the day the illusion shattered and the impossible truth was revealed. Every detail that should have clarified the situation, every piece of evidence that should have provided a logical explanation, only deepened the confusion, adding layers of complexity to an already baffling enigma. The man's frustration grew. He had proof, tangible evidence of his identity and his homeland. Memories, a life in Taured, a history and culture that were as real to him as the air he breathed. For him, the passport was identity, a symbol of his belonging, and his connection to a place that seemingly existed only in his mind. For officials, it was an impossibility, a violation of the laws of reality, and a challenge to their understanding of the world. The standoff was total, an unyielding clash between two opposing realities. The passport was more than paper, ink, and binding. It was a ticket from another reality, a gateway to a world that existed just beyond the veil of our own. The officials were left with a document that shouldn't exist, a tangible paradox that challenged the very foundations of their understanding. The man's certainty only made the situation more surreal, amplifying the sense of unreality that permeated the air. The more they investigated, meticulously dissecting every detail and scrutinizing every angle, the less sense it made, the deeper they plunged into a labyrinth of unanswered questions and impossible contradictions. The passport was a puzzle with no solution, an enigma wrapped in a mystery, defying all attempts at rational explanation. The mystery was now undeniable, a stark and unsettling truth that challenged the very fabric of reality. The impossible had landed at Haneda, bringing with it a question that would forever haunt those who encountered it. The man was taken to a windowless room for interrogation. Officials and an interpreter tried to unravel his story. He described his job, his city, the history and politics of Taured, details delivered with unwavering conviction. Every fact was internally consistent, yet contradicted reality. Maps were brought out. He pointed to Andorra, insisting it was Taured. Officials showed him records, encyclopedias. He shook his head, bewildered. The conversation circled endlessly, neither side able to bridge the gap. The man grew visibly unsettled, as if his world had been erased. He was a security risk, but had committed no crime. His documents were authentic, except for their origin. Officials couldn't let him go, but had no grounds to hold him. They faced a man who, by all evidence, should not exist. The interrogation yielded no answers, only more questions. The officials were trapped in a bureaucratic paradox. The man was trapped in a reality that denied his existence. The only certainty, something was profoundly wrong. The mystery had become a crisis, and the world felt just a little less certain. Night fell. Authorities booked the man into a guarded hotel room, his documents locked away at the airport. 2 guards stood watch outside his door. Escape seemed impossible. The officials believed they had control. By morning, they hoped for answers. But when the guards knocked, there was no response. The room was empty, bed unslept, window locked from the inside. The guards swore no one had entered or left. Panic spread. Officials rushed to check the safe. The man's passport and papers were gone. No sign of forced entry. It was as if he and every trace of his existence had vanished. He had appeared out of nowhere, and now he had returned to it. No evidence, no explanation, just a baffling absence. The man from Taured was gone. The officials were left with nothing but questions. The impossible had not only arrived, it had disappeared. The story would haunt those who witnessed it. The case was closed, but the mystery remained. The world had shifted, if only for a night. The legend was born in that empty room, and the search for answers had only just begun. Where did he go? One theory, the multiverse. Perhaps our universe is just one of many, each with its own history. The man from Taured could have slipped from a parallel world, one where Taured exists instead of Andorra. His passport was real, just not in our reality. His confusion was genuine. His world was almost identical to ours. A cosmic glitch, a temporary rift, may have brought him here. When the anomaly corrected, he vanished, returning to his own universe. He didn't escape the hotel, he simply ceased to exist in our world. The multiverse theory explains the strangeness. Authentic documents, unwavering certainty, sudden disappearance. He was an interdimensional traveler, caught by accident. The universe in its own way corrected the error. The mystery remains, but the explanation is as vast as reality itself. The man from Taured became a legend of the multiverse. Another theory timeline splits. History isn't a single line, but a branching river. The man may have come from a timeline where Andorra never existed, only Taured. His world mirrored ours, but with crucial differences. He was a living artifact from a history that never happened here. His presence was a contradiction, an anomaly reality couldn't sustain. When the timeline corrected, he was shunted back to his own branch. He didn't vanish. He was returned to where he belonged. The laws of probability and physics may have forced the correction. The man from Taured was a brief visitor from a parallel history. His disappearance was the universe restoring order. The mystery is a reminder, reality may be more flexible than we think. Or perhaps it's all a legend, a product of human memory and storytelling. The man from Taured's story has no official records, only retellings and embellishments. This could be a case of the Mandela effect, collective misremembering. Maybe a real incident was exaggerated, details blurred and merged over time. The name Taured could be a confusion with Tuareg, or a fictional flourish. The story persists because it's compelling, not because it's true. The man's disappearance is a narrative twist, not a supernatural event. The legend endures, unburdened by proof. Perhaps Taured only ever existed in our imagination. The real mystery is how stories like this take root and grow. The man from Taured is a modern myth for the information age. So what remains? A ghost story, a cosmic glitch, or a clever fiction? The lack of evidence keeps the mystery alive. The man from Taured is more than a legend. He's a symbol of the unknown. His story reminds us that reality may hold secrets beyond our comprehension. In a world mapped and measured, we crave the unexplained. These stories are our modern myths, fueling wonder and curiosity. The narrative changes, but our need for mystery endures. The man from Taured invites us to question what's possible. He left no evidence, only a question. Are we alone in our reality? As long as that question lingers, the search for answers continues. The expedition into the unknown is never truly over. The legend echoes on, challenging us to keep an open mind, and so the mystery of Taured endures, an invitation to wonder.